guys, my name is Ralph Johnston. You know who I am. I'll get to this guy in just one moment, but anyways, I want to just go ahead and say a few things about the channel. It's going to go completely different than what we've been doing. Pretty much what it is I was doing videos every Tuesdays and Fridays, putting them up. I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to post videos, could be 3 times a week, could be no times a week, could be 100 times a week. I don't know. I haven't, I'm not going to set a schedule anymore. The schedule wasn't really too conflicting with me, but it was making me constantly 100% busy, no matter what, okay? Now, I do want to talk more about photography and videography and stuff like that, and that's why he's here. This guy is Tim Reinauer, and I'm going to let him tell you a little bit about himself.
Okay, well, my name's Tim Reinauer. I've been on YouTube since July of 2014, just over a year now. Make a lot of videos. I've always been interested in film. I actually did go to Full Sail University, their digital cinematography program. I've worked on a couple independent films. Some you may have even heard about my previous videos. And yeah, I love film and everything to deal with film. Not that much of photography, but that's why I got this guy over here. You've been, doing this since?
I think since 2009 I've been on YouTube.
Since 2009, so he's sort of my inspiration for getting on YouTube in the first place. I do food challenges mainly on my channel, but I do have a second channel where I'm trying to do other things. Really haven't done much on it yet, but hopefully in the future I will. Back to you.
Okay, and how about we just talk about today the difference between lenses? Like, for example, we were having a conversation a few weeks back about t-stops and f-stops. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm just going to grab a lens over here real quick. Let's see. The 50 work best for this?
Whatever works best.
Okay, this is a regular nifty 50 lens from Canon. It's a 1.8. It's that really cheap one that they got. They have a new version of it out now, but it's all around $125. So it's a cheap, very good lens. Now this has f-stops, which f-stop stands for focal stops and stuff like that. Okay, what t-stop stands for?
Telefocal.
Telefocal. Okay. Now, do you want to tell them the difference between the f-stops and t-stops?
Well, t-stops are just f-stops, t-stops are basically the same thing, just a t-stop's a more precise number. It all has to do with the amount of light that is exposing your image sensor. Because we're talking digital, we're going to talk image sensors. I don't know many people that still use film, but yeah, it'd be your film plane or your digital sensor. So, first of all, understand the numbers. The numbers do not go 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a ratio. So you get real odd numbers with stops, but it's basically a ratio of your first element compared to the focal length. So that's your first element there. So say that if that was a 50 millimeter piece of glass, this is a 50 millimeter focal length, that'd be an f-stop of 1. Very few people actually make f-stops of 1. There are some companies that make stuff that's even smaller than 1. But you're not going to get big lenses, like you're not going to find 600 millimeter 0.97, which would be 1 stop down from 1, because the glass would be huge on it. It'd be over 600 millimeters to get that. Now this is crop sensor, so it actually cheats a little bit, because that's what 1.6?
It's a 1.6 crop sensor on the camera, but the lens, that lens can work on a full frame. That's why I gave you that one, not the other ones. So,
but basically what it comes down to is in photography, since you're adjusting your light for each image, the amount of light doesn't have to be precise, so that's where you get your f-stops. The f-stop is the ideal amount of light coming through the lens itself. So it's taking the actual millimeter, the outer lens, to the focal length based on your whatever the crop is for it, and that's how it's basing its numbers off of. What it's not taking account for is the amount of lenses, the amount of light you're losing from the lenses, any filters it has on there, because they put called filters, right? What's it called? The different coatings.
The UV coatings and stuff?
Yeah.
The stuff that's on the end is filters. Like what you're taking off.
The coatings.
This is a filter. There's UV coatings on.
I can't think of what the coatings are called. There's a name for it. But they put coatings actually on the lenses, which also reduces the light. With an f-stop, they just ignore that because it's going to be close to it. Now, t-stops are used in film. Now, film's a little more difficult because you have multiple cameras, you're taking constant pictures, and you want to make sure everything looks the same. Because you might not be shooting on the same day, might not be shooting with the same lens. So with t-stops, they go through and they actually measure the amount of light coming through, and they get a precise number compensating for any light that's being lost from the different lenses and the coatings on there. So with a t-stop, you're getting the actual number. It's the exact number. F-stop, you're getting close to it. So t-stops, you have two different lenses. T 1.6 on both of them. Odd number, but if you can find it, you can. It's gonna look the same with both of them, as far as your as far as the amount of light. The I can't think of what it's called.
Depth of field.
No.
The amount of light. F-stops. So and f-stops is aperture for me. So
yeah, the I can't think what it's called. It doesn't really matter. It'd be density if you're talking about film, but we're talking digital. So it's going to look the same, basically. You're going to have the same amount of light on both the images. If you're using, no, not depth of field. If you're using f-stop two different f-stop lenses, most likely the light's going to be slightly different. You're going to notice that with film. You're not going to really notice that with pictures because you're looking at pictures. And that's really the difference.
Okay. Well, thanks for...
I'm a little long-winded on that. I didn't know he was going to ask me, so...
Yeah, pretty much the show's unrehearsed. We may, in the future, grab topics to talk about from you guys, so put them in the comments below if you want us to grab topics to talk about and stuff like that. Also, he's going to be here, just doing other things too, so if you want to see him doing any other stuff, like, for example, we may talk about bull testicles one day. You never know. Right? We could talk about anything.
Sure, why not?
So... This
talk about all the different types of Rocky Mountain oysters.
Yeah, we actually found out that there was a bunch of different types today. But that's probably for a later episode, so we're going to stick with camera stuff today. Do you want to show them what you do? Your camera setup and stuff like that, or not?
Yes, I can.
Okay. This is not sponsored by anybody. As you can see, he's going to have a different brand than I'm going to have, which is completely perfectly fine. Because in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, it doesn't matter with what you shoot, just as long as you enjoy shooting. Would you say that's correct, Tim?
Yes.
So.
Now if I can get my...
He said yes. Alright, and this is Tim's setup that he has. It's a... Go ahead, talk about it. So.
This is a Sony FS100 Uke, if you really want to know. Yeah, it's a prosumer camera. Used to be considered professional, but they've made updates since they released this, so it's considered prosumer. These run right now for around $3,000. The lens alone costs $900. But yeah, it does basically everything Ralph's Canons do, because he likes to use Canon cameras. Except this has a lot more control over basically everything. It's more manual control, to where his is all digital controls. Which I still want to check out the Sony A7S II version now. Just came out like a week and a half ago. But yeah, I got this, and then about 2 months later they came out with the FS700, which has all the features I wanted in this, but wasn't available at the time. So like this can't do 4K, this only does 1080p. But I have to deal with that. So there's not really much to say about it. I mean, it's another camera. Okay, and this is also a full-fledged video camera, to where mine is a DSLR that I'm shooting video on. Yeah, you don't want to take pictures with this. They don't look very good. So some of the different things between DSLRs and videos, like for example, mine is made for taking pictures. His is made for taking video. I'm kind of like a photographer with a video aspect to it. He's more like a... Yeah, let's do this. I'll be right back. Okay. So. Oh, yeah. There you go. Yeah, so, thanks. I'm more of a, Canon C3i guy right here, because that's what I'm using, okay, to actually film this. This is just a newer version of the same exact camera that I have. Mine actually came out, I think,
the month that it came out, I bought one. And then this is just, when did you get this? Like maybe a year ago?
Yeah, about a year ago.
A year ago, he got this one. It's the same exact camera. We have noticed a few differences between the two, but we're not going to get into that right now either. But like I said, I'm mainly a DSLR shooter. He mainly uses this, okay? Granted, mine's a lot smaller, but mine's designed just for photography with the video aspect.
And a lot cheaper.
And a lot cheaper, yes. This was, I think, $500.
I think I paid $530 for it.
$530. You can get completely set up right here. You can take video.
When
Now,
I got this, they were $5,000.
yes. Now, does this do as good as quality as that? No. Okay? And the reason why it doesn't is because, one, he has complete capable control over it. He can go to what is, to me, an insane ISO range and just live there all day long. Like, for example, if I was doing 1600 ISO on this, this thing would be completely so much grain and everything that you'd be like, are they on, what the heck are they? You'd be looking through the noise like crazy. Well, he can live all day at that.
Yeah, 1600, you wouldn't even notice it unless you really looked close on this.
So,
of course, they even know what 1600 is. Why don't you explain?
Well, you can look at my ISO in another video that I've done. So, but pretty much ISO is the sensitivity of the sensor to light. That's the short-term definition of it. So
if you're a film person, that would be your emulsion. So the speed of the film.
So, yeah, if you're a film person, so. Yeah, in film days it was, in digital days it's now ISO, in film days it was ASO, I think.
Yeah, so the size of the hyaloid.
Yeah, so.
Was it hyaloid, sulfide, crystals, in the emulsion?
Yeah, something like that. So, anyway, so, you would get that speed of film, like 400 speed film or something like that. That's what your ISO is nowadays. So, anyways, if you didn't know that, you do now. But this is pretty much the type of thing that I use. This is pretty much the thing that he uses. Now, the setup that we have right now, we're not using this camera for at all. And the only reason why is because, one, that does a whole lot better image than mine does, and I'm not capable of doing programming stuff like that because I have a really shitty computer. No offense to my computer. If any computer companies are watching, send me one. I'll do a review on how well I like it, if I like it. But anyways, we're doing this with what I have that works. Like, for example, we have a Rode Video mic go on a tripod stand right now. My Mi Photo tripod is holding up my camera to where he uses completely different stuff. He has this huge, which in my standards it's huge. His standards is probably middle of the road, right?
Yeah, tripod.
Yeah, your tripod, your Manfrotto. So
yeah.
And then he also has a Manfrotto tripod for this too. So, other than that, I mean, this is just some of the digital aspects of it. Yes, this does photos and videos too. But guess what? The image size in this, and this are completely different. I would say that this one has the biggest image sensor, wouldn't you? Or does yours?
This has the biggest image sensor.
You got the Super 35 in there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well then, his has the biggest image sensor in it on the table. So
mine, you can see, just
well, I can.
dangerous.
You got a battery in here?
Right there.
Where's my Mio lockup? No, that didn't do it.
Just wasting time now.
Yeah.
By the way, these will film indefinitely until it runs out of film. For some reason, these T3Is are only filmed for half an hour. Is that half an hour? Is it shorter than that?
It's shorter than that. It's like 10 minutes. Okay? Although we've gotten mine to go like 12 for some reason. So pretty much, anyways, this is the basics of stuff to where, you can leave his on all the time and all that stuff, okay? And you can get a cut and then all wherever you want it in his. Mine, it tends to be typically better start and stop in it every time. Tends to be. Just you know, like for example, if I wanted to cut all this out and everything, I go, all right, start, stop, start, stop, start, stop. Or if I was doing a film with this, like I did with my road reel stuff, it'd be a start, stop type thing too. So, where his also doesn't have a crappy mic built into it. Okay, his you have to buy a mic separately, which is a good thing because he's got the XLR imports on it, but also a bad thing because he can't use his internal audio for scratch audio.
Nope. There's no internal audio.
Because where I'm using a Zoom H1 external recorder on that Rode Video Mic Go, I still have my audio on my camera going, so therefore I can sync them both together. But you have another way of syncing stuff together, don't you? That works well for you.
I just clap.
Clap, yeah. Okay, I clap also at the beginning of my stuff to get that synced together. But again, I have a crappy computer, so therefore I actually just listen to the stuff for my clapping. And I can't, because when I put video in my computer, it don't look good. I promise you that. But he's got a later computer than
an actual editing rig, and
that came with his schooling stuff and all that. So he's got a fantastic computer for doing all that schooling stuff.
This does have multiple mic inputs, which is nice.
Yes, that is nice. And eventually we are going to get this setup done too. By the way, if you like what you see on this setup that we have here, just put in the comment below. This is actually a new setup than what we did last year.
These shadows back here, so let us know.
Yeah, if these shadows bother you, well then, again, let us know. Put it in the comments. But also, this is a new setup than what I had last year. If you remember what I did last year, I had an orange couch with a bunch of pictures up back here. This is the same spot, okay? I just decided to paint this all blue now. I kept the green lights. I might put an orange light behind me and keep him green or something like that when we get multiple angles. This is going to be a evolving process. So, eventually we're going to get more cameras, more mics, and, all this other stuff. We may even get some mics to put on the table and to talk into and stuff. But just let us know how you like this right now. And that's all I'm going to say for this episode. Do you have anything to say?
Live, love, retire.
Alright.